You want to be a leader? Forget about being liked, forget about being popular, and forget about playing it safe. Real leaders aren't born, they're forged in blood, sweat, and sacrifice. In this video, we're going to explore the brutal, unapologetic, and unstoppable leaders who shaped history. Get ready to learn from the greatest and unleash your inner titan. Lesson 1. Ruthless determination, Napoleon Bonaparte. Ruthless determination is what separates the great leaders from the mediocre. It's not about being liked or being popular. It's about getting the job done, no matter the cost. Napoleon Bonaparte, one of history's greatest leaders, knew this all too well. This French emperor was known for his unyielding ambition and his ability to achieve the impossible. But what made Napoleon so successful? It was his ruthless determination. He was willing to do whatever it took to achieve his goals, no matter how brutal or unpopular. He didn't care about being liked or loved. He cared about winning. And win he did. He conquered most of Europe, brought order to a chaotic France, and left a lasting legacy. So, what can we learn from Napoleon's ruthless determination? First, you must be willing to make the tough decisions. Napoleon didn't hesitate to execute his enemies or punish those who stood in his way. Second, you must be willing to take risks. Napoleon gambled his entire kingdom on a single battle, and it paid off. Third, you must be willing to adapt. Napoleon changed his strategy mid-campaign, and it led to a decisive victory. Napoleon's determination was so strong that it inspired loyalty and devotion in his troops. They would follow him to the gates of hell. So, are you willing to make the sacrifices necessary to achieve greatness? Or are you too afraid to get your hands dirty? The choice is yours. But remember, the greatest leaders in history weren't afraid to take risks and make tough decisions. They were ruthless in their determination. And that's what made them great. Lesson 2. Unwavering conviction. Alexander the Great. Alexander the Great is one of the most iconic leaders in history. He conquered a vast portion of the known world, creating one of the largest empires the world has ever seen. But what made Alexander so successful? Was it his intelligence? His strategic mind? His bravery in battle? No, it was his unwavering conviction. His unshakable belief in his vision and his mission. Alexander knew what he wanted, and he stopped at nothing to get it. He wasn't deterred by setbacks, defeats, or criticisms. He had a vision for a unified empire, and he was willing to do whatever it took to make it a reality. This conviction wasn't just about ego or personal ambition. It was about creating a lasting legacy that would change the course of human history. And it's precisely this conviction that allowed him to overcome seemingly insurmountable obstacles and achieve greatness. Today, most people lack this kind of conviction. They're uncertain, hesitant, and easily swayed by the opinions of others. They're afraid to take risks, to challenge the status quo, or to stand up for what they believe in. But if you want to achieve greatness, you need to be like Alexander. You need to have an unwavering conviction in your vision, your mission, and your goals. You need to be willing to take risks, to challenge conventional wisdom, and to push through obstacles. So, what's holding you back? What's stopping you from taking action, from pursuing your vision, and from achieving greatness? Is it fear of failure? Fear of rejection? Fear of what others might think? Let me tell you something. The only way to achieve greatness is to be willing to take the leap, to take the risk, and to take control of your own destiny. Anything less is just mediocrity. So, ask yourself, what's your vision? What's your mission? What's your unwavering conviction? If you don't have an answer, then you're not ready to lead. But if you do, then it's time to take action. It's time to stop making excuses, to stop procrastinating, and to start building your legacy. Remember, Alexander didn't become great by being liked or by following the rules. He became great by being willing to take risks, to challenge the status quo, and to push through obstacles. And that's exactly what you need to do if you want to achieve greatness. Lesson 3. Strategic brilliance. Sun Tzu. Sun Tzu, the ancient Chinese general and philosopher, is one of the most iconic leaders in history. His masterpiece, The Art of War, is still studied by military strategists and business executives alike. So, what can we learn from Sun Tzu about leadership? First, it's about deception. Sun Tzu believed that all warfare is based on deception. Knowing when to bluff, when to feint, and when to strike is crucial in achieving victory. In business, this translates to being unpredictable, keeping your competitors guessing, and making bold moves to stay ahead of the curve. Second, Sun Tzu emphasized the importance of terrain. In war, terrain is everything. Knowing the terrain, using it to your advantage, and adapting to its limitations is key to success. In business, this means understanding your industry, knowing your market, and using that knowledge to outmaneuver your competition. Third, Sun Tzu believed in the power of adaptability. No plan survives contact with the enemy unchanged. You must be willing to adapt, to pivot, and to adjust your strategy in response to changing circumstances. In business, this means being agile, being willing to pivot, and being open to new opportunities and partnerships. Finally, Sun Tzu believed in the importance of unity of command. In war, a single, clear chain of command is essential. In business, this means having a clear vision, a clear strategy, and a clear direction. So, what can we learn from Sun Tzu about leadership? We can learn to be unpredictable, to adapt, and to be willing to do whatever it takes to achieve victory. We can learn to be strategic, to think several moves ahead and to outmaneuver our competition. We can learn to be ruthless, to be willing to do what it takes to win and to crush our enemies. And we can learn to be brilliant, to think outside the box, and to find innovative solutions to complex problems. So, are you ready to become a master strategist like Sun Tzu? Are you ready to outmaneuver your competition, to crush your enemies, and to achieve greatness? If so, then let's get started. The world is waiting for you to lead. Lesson 4. Unrelenting Ambition. Genghis Khan. Genghis Khan is often remembered as a brutal warlord, but what's often overlooked is his unrelenting ambition. This was a man who rose from humble beginnings to build the largest contiguous empire in history. Khan's secret to success wasn't just his military prowess, but his unwavering commitment to his vision. He was driven by an insatiable hunger for power and a desire to leave a lasting legacy. One of the most striking aspects of Khan's leadership was his ability to adapt and innovate. He recognized the limitations of traditional warfare and adapted guerrilla tactics to outmaneuver his enemies. His armies were nimble, mobile, and deadly, a testament to his strategic brilliance. But what truly set Khan apart was his ruthless elimination of any obstacle that stood in his way. He was merciless to those who opposed him, crushing rebels and dissidents without hesitation. This was a man who would stop at nothing to achieve his goals, no matter the cost in blood or treasure. We often romanticize the idea of playing nice in leadership, but Genghis Khan's success was built on his willingness to make tough decisions and take calculated risks. He didn't concern himself with what others thought of him. He was driven by his own ambition, not a desire for popularity. Today, this kind of unrelenting ambition is what separates the titans from the wannabes. It's what propels leaders to greatness, even in the face of overwhelming odds. So, what's your ambition? What drives you to get out of bed in the morning? Is it a desire to build an empire, to leave a lasting legacy, or simply to be remembered as a force to be reckoned with? If you want to lead like Genghis Khan, you need to be willing to make sacrifices, to take risks, and to eliminate any obstacle that stands in your way. Anything less, and you're just another pretender to the throne. Lesson 5. Merciless Decisiveness. Julius Caesar. When it comes to making tough decisions, most people are paralyzed by fear, doubt, and indecision. But not Julius Caesar. He was a man who knew that decisive action was the key to achieving greatness. Caesar was a master strategist, a brilliant politician, and a ruthless leader who would stop at nothing to achieve his goals. One of the most famous stories about Caesar is how he crossed the Rubicon River with his legions, sparking a civil war that would change the course of Roman history. This was no careless decision. Caesar knew that by crossing the Rubicon he would be committing an act of treason and that there would be no turning back. But he was willing to take that risk because he knew that it was the only way to achieve his vision for Rome. Caesar's merciless decisiveness is a lesson to us all. In life, you'll often be faced with difficult choices, and it's easy to get bogged down in analysis paralysis. But the truth is, sometimes you just need to make a decision and take action. The consequences be damned. Of course, this doesn't mean being reckless or impulsive. It means being willing to take calculated risks and facing the consequences head-on. Caesar's legacy is a testament to the power of merciless decisiveness. He transformed Rome, expanded its borders, and left a lasting legacy that would shape Western civilization. So, the next time you're faced with a tough decision, remember Caesar's example. Don't let fear, doubt, or indecision hold you back. Take a deep breath, make a decision, and take action. The consequences will be yours to face, but the reward will be worth it. Lesson 6. Unshakable Resilience. Winston Churchill. Winston Churchill, the former Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, is one of the most iconic leaders in history. What made Churchill a titan of leadership was his unshakable resilience. This guy was a rock, a force of nature that couldn't be broken. During World War I, when the entire nation was on the brink of collapse, Churchill stood tall, refusing to yield to the Nazi threat. He rallied his people, delivered speeches that stirred the soul, and made decisions that would change the course of history. But what's often overlooked is that Churchill wasn't always the confident leader he became. He faced criticism, setbacks, and failures throughout his career. He was fired from his first cabinet position, dismissed as First Lord of the Admiralty during World War I. But Churchill didn't let failure define him. He picked himself up, brushed himself off, and kept moving forward. That's the hallmark of a true leader. The ability to absorb the blows of fate and keep pushing forward. Churchill's resilience was rooted in his deep conviction that Britain would prevail, no matter the cost. He didn't let his emotions get the better of him. Remember, leaders don't get to choose the circumstances they face. They only get to choose how they respond. Churchill's unshakable resilience in the face of overwhelming odds is a testament to the power of determination and grit. So, how can you apply Churchill's lessons to your own life? When faced with adversity, do you crumble or do you stand tall? Do you let fear and doubt creep in, or do you silence them with unwavering conviction? The next time you're faced with a challenge, remember Churchill's unshakable resilience. Draw from his strength, his courage, and his refusal to give up. Then, and only then, will you have what it takes to lead like a titan. Conclusion: leading like a titan. You've made it to the end of this journey through the annals of history's greatest leaders. By now, you should have a clear understanding of what sets the titans apart from the timid. It's not about being liked, it's not about being popular, and it's not about following the rules. It's about having the guts to take risks, to make tough decisions, and to crush your enemies. You've seen it in Napoleon's ruthless determination, Alexander's unwavering conviction, Sun Tzu's strategic brilliance, Genghis Khan's unrelenting ambition, Julius Caesar's merciless decisiveness, and Winston Churchill's unshakable resilience. These men didn't become legends by playing it safe or seeking approval. They achieved greatness because they were willing to do whatever it takes to achieve their vision. So, what's holding you back from leading like a titan? Is it fear of failure? Fear of rejection? Fear of what others might think? Let me tell you something, brother. The greatest leaders in history didn't get to where they were by being afraid of what others thought. They forged their own path, no matter how unpopular or unconventional it may have been. And that's what you need to do if you want to lead like a titan. You need to be willing to take the road less traveled, to challenge the status quo, and to push yourself to the limits of human endurance. You need to be willing to get your hands dirty, to take risks, and to make tough decisions. Because that's what titans do. They don't wait for permission, they don't seek approval, and they don't apologize for their greatness. They simply go out there and take it. So, what's it going to be, brother? Are you going to continue living in mediocrity, or are you going to unleash your inner titan? The choice is yours. But if you want to lead like a titan, you need to be willing to do whatever it takes to achieve greatness. No excuses, no apologies, and no regrets. Just pure, unadulterated ambition. That's what it takes to